there are a few obvious reasons, I think, why the scene is so strong, and the first one is the people that are going to these shows. I mean, there's like a really dedicated and strong fan base here in Charlottetown right now, and like more than I've ever seen in the past.
Without the musicians and the fans, more than anything, I think people that the community that comes and supports the bands.
I think that young kids are just generally more knowledgeable about music than they were 10 years ago, and I think a lot of that has to do with digital culture, and it's so much easier now to get your hands on something that people are talking about and blogging about. So all these kids, you know, they know all the cool records that are coming out, and so they're interested in music, and they have the ability to hear music. It's not just like you read about it in a magazine and then you have to go try to find it somewhere in a store. Like, you can hear it instantly. So I think the kids now are a lot more knowledgeable about music, and I think they've been exposed to a lot more music. I think they're more passionate about music in general, and so I think all of the local bands have benefited from that. These kids want to come out and be part of the local scene. Also, I like the venues. I like the people that we work with at the venues. Ryan here at Baba's and Steve Barber at Hunter's. They work hard to allow bands to play shows. They work hard to treat bands well, and you know, without those two venues, like, we'd be in big trouble here in Charlottetown.
Well, we never would have been doing what we do. We never had cover bands, and we never did, you know, come and get cheap drinks and listen to Brown Eyed Girls. So
in any city, there's usually only a handful of good venues that bands can play and do original music, and we're lucky we have 2 or 3 right now. I think the all ages scene probably needs some help with venues. That's one thing I've noticed. But other than that, I think it's good. We're lucky to have some of the places we are to play here, and young bands who have never played before can jump on bills at some of the bar shows and play to a great crowd. So I think that's a pretty good thing to have.
And I find, not only for the bands that I play in, but also when I'm trying to bring friends' bands into town, there's really only 2 options for a lot of them, and it's really difficult to get in there for away bands, and it's a shame, because there's so much good music that's passing through town, and we could be doing a lot better with making it bigger and better in here. But there's, lack of venues, my biggest problem with this town.
But maybe when you're starting out, there's the roadblocks you hit, like just being able to afford renting places, or just not having avenues to play. So I think that's maybe that's what's the tough thing. I think that's needed here, is something to help kind of support the younger bands, and just I think a venue would be the main thing. So.
I mean, everybody supports each other, and I think it has a lot to do with the size of the community and the history.
You know, there's respect there, and you know, support there, and that's what I like about the local music scene.
I think everyone tries to help each other out. Since it is a small town, you don't see maybe the scenes splintering off and just staying in their own little groups. Everyone seems to come together and help each other, which I think is a bonus of a small music scene.
We played a show last night at Hunter's. It was a Wednesday night with our pals in Martin, and you know, St. Patrick's Day was the night before. There's 100 people there, and that's, you know, to me, that shows what kind of a fan base, or what kind of a demographic we have here. You know, that people are really committed to going to shows.
And the fact that everybody helps each other out, that it's such a close-knit community, and we're always taking more bands onto a bill, you know, not worried about how much money there is to spread around. It's all about music and fun and drive and passion, and it's awesome.
For the most part, very friendly scene too. People are very willing to help each other, which is not always the case in other scenes.
like the music, and that's totally sincere. I think that there's some incredible stuff going on in Charlottetown right now, and I mean, I've lived in town for a while, and I don't think that the local music scene has ever been as healthy as it is now.
It's fun. I mean, there's a lot of good music. There's a lot of good music in Charlottetown.
I mean, I'm a big fan of 2 Hours Traffic. I'm a big fan of the Danks. Box with a Horse are terrific. Pat Deighan's always been great at whatever he's been involved with.
Lots of young bands popping up, which is always good, and just a lot of diverse bands too. You're seeing a heavier scene develop. And
The most amazing music is happening, so the talent in this town and the originality is amazing. I love that.
There's a lot of great musicians. A lot. I mean, there's great musicians everywhere, but for, as everybody says, a place this size.
we just have great songwriters and musicians on PEI. So something in the water or good salt air.